this is an important video. It's not like all of the other, why do avoidants come back videos? Because I'm going to be asking you a question about you towards the end of this video. And yes, we're going to talk about avoidance and why they do come back and what it is they want, what is their intentions, what's this pattern all about, why do they disappear and come back, why do they do it a lot, or why do they never do it, or why do they do it just once. We're going to talk about that, but the most important thing is taking responsibility for your part in this dynamic, okay? When we start taking responsibility for our side of the street, this is when our life changes, because we take our power back. And this is what I do with my clients in the Heartbreak Healers Club too. It's all about owning your shit, owning your stuff that needs to be healed, acknowledged, loved, accepted, understood, heard. This is what the Heartbreak Healers Club is for. And it's a very powerful space with a beautiful bunch of people who found each other from all walks of life all over the world. It's very safe, and you can sign up in the link below. You will also get the perfect replies to your avoidant for free when you sign up. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the avoidant. Why do they come back? Well, you are familiar and you are safe. They know what they get with you, right? They understand that there's been a level of comfort with you. So there's something familiar that often pulls avoidance back to what they know. And they get to a point in their cycle of, getting really close to somebody, getting freaked out, getting overwhelmed, and then leaving. They get to a point where they start feeling that discomfort again. And it pushes them to reach for connection, because this is the other reason why they come back, is they are longing for connection. They are longing, just like you and me, they're longing for closeness, longing for connection. And when they get it, there is some relief, and then they go back into their fear of intimacy again. So they often leave. Sometimes they'll come back because they've genuinely reflected and thought, I shouldn't have treated them like this. I don't know why I did that. And they might have reflected. They might have even done some work. They might have even gone to therapy because they've seen this happen so many times in their life before. And they might be coming back to see if you're still there, to get that, oh, good, I can still have closeness if I want, but I don't want it. That's quite common, where they just poke their head in and send you a meme or send you a song or send you something to say, here's my attempt at connection. I do want connection, and I feel connection with you on my own in isolation. But when I have to be with you and have to offer you something, I'm scared that you're going to reject me. I'm scared that I'm not going to be good enough. And so I'm just going to dip my toe in the water. This is what some of them do as well. And then they feel like, oh, good, I'm safe again because the connection's still there. So I am safe to go away back into my cave again. This is what sometimes they do. Because being seen in a relationship threatens being rejected. And the sad thing is, right, is that this is the risk every single person takes in a relationship. We're all at the same risk. Whenever we go into a relationship, it's an even playing field, right? Everybody is in the same situation. We could all be rejected. We could all be abandoned. We could all be cheated on. Someone could die. Everybody is in the same boat, but it's the risk you take in love. So being able to see that we're all in the same place and that we face the same risk is like, everybody who goes on a plane risks the fact that it might not land safely, and it's the same as going into a relationship, but you do it anyway because you want to live. You want to experience life. You want to experience love. But with the overwhelm that literally hijacks an avoidance when they experience that trigger of, oh, I'm being seen, I'm being challenged. This is getting to a point where I'm starting to feel threatened. My sense of self is feeling wobbly. And this is the thing with avoidance as well. They'll go away from the relationship and start feeling like themselves again. And they'll feel confident enough to go towards a relationship again. And they'll go to what's familiar and what they know. They'll start to maybe miss you. And they actually do. But this is the thing with avoidance, is that they can do this thing where they can feel connection with someone and long for them, but then also not want to do anything about it because it means that they have to get over their wall, right? Avoidants often talk about something called the wall, yeah? The wall that they can't get through, the wall that they can't break down. And this is one of the things that anxious people want to break down. You want to break it down so that they feel safe enough to be with you, so that they can be the person that you believe that they are, but they feel like it's impossible. And so there's this like block, this energetic fear block where they just don't feel like they can be themselves in the relationship. And so they go away again. But the fact is, the bottom line is that avoidance, when they come back, they want connection and they want closeness like everyone does. And they just don't know how to sustain it. And because their method of avoiding works for them and it makes them avoid discomfort, they then don't feel like there's any reason to do any work because they're avoiding the discomfort. So this is the problem. Unless they actually face the discomfort, they won't feel a need to do the work. The avoidance works for them, right? Until they experience loss. So this is the other reason why they might come back, is because maybe they've actually experienced loss with you. Maybe they've actually experienced the fact that they did have a really good connection with you. They loved you. Maybe they hadn't got to the point where they loved you, but they really saw something potential in you and in the relationship. They had many times where they were vulnerable with you, and they felt that that was something they'd never experienced before. Maybe they even told you that. And then they got overwhelmed when there was a challenge and they didn't know how to handle it because they haven't got that coping strategy in their toolkit, because they haven't built it. And their coping strategy is to run away and avoid. So that's what they did because that's what they know. But maybe they experienced loss because they experienced something with you they hadn't with other people. And they realize that because of something on their side of the street, they want to, they want you back, or they want that back again. And this is why some avoidants come back. Whether or not they're willing to do the work is a whole different thing, right? Okay, so let's go to you. Why are you still avoiding letting go when you know that this person has shown you over and over and over again how they are in relationships? What are you avoiding? Because part of the dynamic here, and one of the reasons why they might come back again and again, is because you let them, is because you entertain it, is because there's part of you that still believes that you can change this person or believes that they can change. What part of you doesn't believe enough that you can have a relationship where someone absolutely is there for you? I was saying this to a client earlier, right? Sometimes life is going to be really hard. What happens when you're ill? What happens when your family needs help? What happens when something goes wrong in your life? You need and deserve someone who is going to be like, I am here, all in, don't worry, I am here, I'm supporting you. Now, can you look at this person right now and say that's who they are for you? If not, there's something you're avoiding through fear of maybe it not being possible for you, it's being too hard, you not finding the same type of connection, not being loved and accepted as you are. What part of you is avoiding finding that? Because you might be thinking, well, I want that, but I want it with this person. But you're avoiding literally seeing it as it is. You're avoiding this person's current way of being. And you're avoiding it for what reason? Maybe have a think about it, because there's a very logical reason for it. There's nothing wrong with you. It will make perfect sense why you're avoiding this. I asked a few of my clients this question, right? And in every single case, they say, I'm not avoiding that. That's what I want. I want someone who's with me, who's there for me. And then I say, well, let's just look at this then. because you've literally chosen somebody who cannot be there for you. You've chosen somebody to think about and to focus on that literally is showing you all the time that they are not there for you. They are not showing you the care and love that you are asking for, that you know you deserve. And then they'll meet someone else, and there's something great about them, and there's something really, really red flaggy about them as well. So they're literally unconsciously choosing people they know they can't be with, they know are not showing up for them. And the reason why we do that is often because we feel safer with someone that can't see us, that cannot see us, because if they could see us, they could reject us. You see how similar anxious and avoidance actually are? We're both doing the same thing. This is why they say that relationships are mirrors, right? So part of the cycle in this is that you're both doing exactly the same thing. You're avoiding what that you want, and they're avoiding what they want. And there's a wall in the way. Now you start taking your power back when you start going, shit, fuck, I didn't realise that I was completely unconsciously choosing unavailable people because I'm afraid. Because I'm afraid of being genuinely seen for who I am. I'm afraid of doing nothing. I'm afraid that if I do nothing, no one will come for me. I'm afraid that if I'm just myself, I will be rejected, I'll be shamed, I will be left, I'll be abandoned. Because that's what happened once upon a time when you were younger. This is the childhood programming where it felt very much like being yourself wasn't enough. But you want to be with someone where it's just easy to just breathe and be. And whenever you were younger, you might have learnt that being yourself was not acceptable, that you had to adapt to situations that changed a lot or that were scary at times, maybe there was anger around, or that if you were yourself, that you would be ignored, that you had to do something, perform for love, adapt, change, people please for love. This made you really, really hypervigilant. This made you anxious. This is why. And then you choose people who feel familiar. Yeah? And so this is the pattern that you've got to be able to see really, really clearly. And one of the things that I've started doing with my clients that's actually really helping, and I wasn't doing it before, to be honest, because I am very empathetic and I know that it's really important to let people go on their own journey and do things in their own way. But I've started calling this out a lot more. I've started being a bit more brutally honest about this in a kind, loving way, of course, because I've been through this too, and I'm not going to be one of these people who rushes you or judges you or anything like that. But to help you see the blind spots for those of you at the back who are still wondering why you're obsessing about this person, wanting them to come back, and wondering why they do come back and what makes them come back. Hello, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you because there's something you can't see about you. And I want you to be free. Oh gosh, I'm feeling quite emotional saying this because I know how hard it is to be wanting someone who is so unavailable. I know how much you want to be seen. I know how much you want to be loved. I know how much love you've got to give. I know how much you've struggled in relationships. I know how hurt you've been by this person. I know. And it's time for that to change. So I'm asking you these questions to help you reflect, to get honest with yourself about what you're avoiding. Okay? Because although it feels a bit uncomfortable, and it will feel uncomfortable to go, oh shit, I might have to actually really think about this. I might have to step into myself a bit more. I might have to be a bit more honest with myself about what I want and what I deserve. I might have to be honest with where I have played a part in this cycle. And when you do that, life is going to change. Now, if you want help with this, this is what I do in my Heartbreak Healers Club, in my one-to-one, which you can get through the Heartbreak Healers Club, and in all of my other manuals and self-study courses. So you can find out all the information about those things in the link below. I've been a bit more straight up in this video, I realise, but we can't tiptoe around this shit. Like, this is going to literally ruin your life or make your life. Like, if you are focused on somebody who is committed to misunderstanding you for years, it will ruin your life for years until you stop. Until you go, I've had enough of this shit. I want someone who's going to stand at my funeral if I die before them when I'm 90 years old and say it was a fucking honour to be married to this person. Right? This is what I'm saying that because that's what my grandpa did with my nana recently. Oh God, sorry. That's what my grandpa did. That's what she would have done. And we all deserve that, okay? You deserve that. Nothing less. End this shit. That's what we're doing. Sorry, I'm really passionate about it because there's been a number of my clients where I think, oh my God, this is ruining their life. This is this person who is so avoidant, who's absolutely not willing to do the work. Like, they're not doing it. And it's like, let's break through the layers here and just say this for what it is. Anyway, if you would like to do this work, this is what I do with my clients. This is what I've done with myself. So I'm saying this like with love, right? Because I know like how hard it is. And I know how much I struggled to realise my own part in this. But once you realise it, you're like, oh wow, okay. It's time. So, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.